Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the 8th Annual Delaware County Foundation's Evening of Generosity. I'm NBC4's Matt Barnes, and it is my pleasure to be your host tonight for this virtual broadcast. You know, this year's Evening of Generosity looks a little different, but the heart and spirit that has defined this event remains. Now more than ever, your foundation is honored to be celebrating the people and organizations that make Delaware County a great place to live, work, and grow. You know, most years we all struggle to fit everyone in the ballroom. Well, this time around, there are infinite number of seats at your virtual table. So we invite you, share tonight's broadcast with your friends and family using the invite button on your screen. We also encourage you to interact using Facebook Live's chat function to share your message of support for this evening's honorees and our heroes in crisis. To get the ball rolling this evening, it is my pleasure to welcome Chris Baker, the Foundation's new president and CEO.
Tonight, we celebrate community. Even though we're not physically together, we assemble in our virtual way to celebrate tonight's honorees and the Foundation's 25th anniversary. I hope that you'll join me in recognizing our honorees. We're hopeful that this year's celebration, while a little different, will be equally meaningful and convey their many accomplishments. As the Foundation celebrates its silver anniversary, I'm reminded that our role as a community foundation is expansive and evolving. The story of the Delaware County Foundation continues to grow from the handful of donors who believed in the foundation in the very beginning. Since our formation in 1995 by a group of local residents, our organization has grown to be a viable resource for our county. In the intervening 25 years, our donors have continued to be a catalyst for change, and their collective generosity has distributed more than $14 million in grants to hundreds of nonprofit organizations and initiatives. While we're proud of the work that we've accomplished since our inception, we understand that serving the community effectively requires us to be responsive to the evolving needs of today while planning for tomorrow. That includes adapting to the challenges presented by the current pandemic. I think it's safe to say that COVID-19 presents a challenge of unprecedented complexity and duration for our nonprofit community. Many are challenged with increased demand for their services, increased cost, and lost revenue due to closures and cancellations. Since this spring, the Foundation, working with our donors, has funded Delaware County nonprofits with relief grants for residents in need. This includes everything from food assistance to utility assistance. We're working continuously to provide services and resources for our nonprofit partners and consider their continued viability a priority for strengthening our community. With your help, we'll continue to provide the resources necessary to respond and recover from the crisis. As a foundation, we like to say that community is at the heart of our work and the source of all that we do. Our ability to assist and guide our community, after all, is shaped and inspired by our donors and supporters. Ordinary people, just like you, that take an extraordinary interest in their community. Delaware County continues to change and new needs and opportunities emerge. And it's your turn to celebrate and grow this legacy. I invite you to learn more about the work of the Delaware County Foundation and the many ways that you can get involved. Together, we'll create a vibrant community, invest in future generations, and celebrate the legacies of those who paved the way.
This event would not be possible without our community of volunteers, donors, and sponsors who contributed to this special evening. Joining us and representing our presenting sponsor is Jason Baker, Regional President of First Commonwealth Bank.
Good evening. My name is Jason Baker, Regional President of First Commonwealth Bank, and it is our pleasure to be a part of the Delaware County Foundation's 8th Annual Evening of Generosity. Tonight, we celebrate volunteerism and the generosity that makes our community so special. At First Commonwealth Bank, we believe in the mission of the Delaware County Foundation and are proud to once again be the presenting sponsor for tonight's event. We take seriously our responsibilities as a corporate citizen of Delaware County and look for ways to positively change the lives of our neighbors. We are grateful to celebrate together even though we cannot be together tonight. So let's raise a glass and salute the work of the Delaware County Foundation and all those that make our community better.
I think it was my idea to start a brewery. Our first task was to write down as many names as you could possibly come up with. I think we started with 400.
It's about 450.
And it kept kind of coming back to one name. It was Restoration. And that ended up being the one we were able to settle on.
Any business venture, everybody has different goals, where they want to move in life, how much time they want to spend, what they think it's about. Our goal was to grow the business from the start.
You hear all the time how small businesses are the way to go, but we weren't really feeling that support.
So through a friend of a friend, we actually had met a banker through First Commonwealth Bank that, to our surprise, actually showed up here and wanted to talk to us.
They introduced themselves with first name and wanted to know about us, and they wanted to know about what we do, and then they actually got to feel what we've been trying to embrace with the community. It kind of made us really feel important. It's weird, no one's ever done that for us before.
Working with First Commonwealth Bank has allowed us to do bigger and better things. We've improved our brewery by adding tanks. We've opened for lunches. We've added salaried employees, and we're growing the business in the vision that we had from the get-go.
I feel like we've made friends at First Commonwealth, and I think when you're friends with somebody, you have trust and you have more confidence in them. I don't think we felt that way about another bank.
We like to say that we're restoring people's palate one craft beer at a time. Financing with First Commonwealth Bank has allowed us to keep doing what we're doing without having to give up kind of what we believe in and what we've been working so hard for.
Now for a few comments from the Delaware County Foundation Board Chair, Matt Weller.
Thanks, Matt. To be sure, this is not how we envisioned our 25th anniversary year. While the format of our event has changed out of our deepest respect for the health and safety of our guests, the mission and the goal of our event has not. Tonight culminates the efforts, resources, and talents shared by so many. As you know, an event like this doesn't just happen. It takes the involvement of a volunteer committee, staff, and especially our generous sponsors. Now let me begin by thanking our volunteer committee, chaired by Foundation Board Member Pamela Hutchinson. Your program lists each of these amazing volunteers. Please join me in thanking them for putting together this fine evening for us. While there has been significant uncertainty over the past few months, the commitment from our sponsors has been unwavering. You've already heard from our presenting sponsor, First Commonwealth Bank, and I want to take a moment to thank them once again for their tremendous support. I also want to take a moment to recognize our platinum sponsors, Jill Patricia King and T&R Properties, headed by founder Ron Sabatino. And let's raise our glasses to our Martini Luge sponsor, Polaris Centers of Commerce, NP Limited Partnership, and to our Bourbon Bar sponsors, Carlisle, Patchen and Murphy, and Johnson Investment Council. Others who make this night a success for the Foundation are our diamond sponsors. Please join me in thanking the following: Chesrown Chevrolet Buick GMC, Greif Incorporated, Nationwide, Nicholas Savco & Sons, Truco Construction Company, and the Robert Weiler Company. Our dessert sponsor, Mount Carmel Health Systems, put a sweet treat in your no-contact catering bag. Last, let's tip our hats to the 28 gold sponsors of this evening's event. They're listed in your program, our signage, our website, and our Facebook page. We are proud of the accomplishments of our organization over the past 25 years and recognize that we could not have delivered on our mission without you. So tonight, in a spirit of celebration, let me thank you as a member of our community for the many ways you support the Foundation's work. Whether you serve on a committee, attend our signature event, or make a gift of another kind, your contributions are invaluable in supporting our organization and bringing stability to the community. Thank you so much and have a great evening.
In response to the evolving landscape of our community, we are excited to introduce 5 new awards for Heroes in Crisis. This spring, we asked the community to nominate individuals that have made an impact through their selfless service and random acts of kindness, and you answered the call. Throughout the evening, we will be spotlighting local heroes that have stepped up in the fight against COVID and in support of their community. Let's meet our first hero.
Resource Center is really unique. Basically, we're like a social service agency that operates out of the school district but serves people for the whole county. We offer all kinds of things to families to just help them be able to focus their energy on their kids and their kids' education rather than getting their basic needs met. So we provide food, we provide diapers, we do utility assistance, we host a tax assistance program. Funding from the Delaware County Foundation for Utilities has allowed us to do things like pay people's water bills and make sure that stays on, but also do things like pay their internet bill, which is more important than ever as kids are trying to learn from home and parents are working from home and relying on that internet. We had one family where the mom just went back to school and her son is in school. She was a young single mom, and without their internet bill, neither of them would be able to do any schooling. So we actually paid that bill with your grant, and they have both been able to continue their education. I was born and raised in Delaware, and it's a really important community to me, and I definitely feel like I got a lot out of Delaware City Schools and out of all of these programs, so it's important to me to give back to them, but also especially in this time, so many families are in trouble who never have been before and aren't aware of all of the resources, so I think it's more important than ever that we are really vocal about what's available and about coming together to serve one another.
What an amazing story. You know, every year the foundation picks awardees who exemplify giving and volunteerism. And this year's Spirit of Philanthropy Award goes to Mrs. Dolores Smith and the late Dr. David Smith.
We met in September of 1967 while we were volunteers in Colombia, South America. He was working at the time on developing a banana co-op in the Chocó area of Colombia, and I was working in the Central Mountain Range of the Andes. During our time in that area, Dave was very involved with the Presbyterian Church, and actually one of the projects that we were both involved with was one of the first daycare centers in that area. We ended up in Ohio because we wanted to be in the Midwest. And so while he was looking, it came up that Smith Clinic from Marion had already opened a clinic on 23 and was looking for a family practitioner. And that's how we came to Ohio. He became very involved immediately with different organizations, and so did I. We were co-chair people on the levy committee in the 90s. We felt very strongly then that Delaware needed a new high school because we were growing by leaps and bounds. I became involved with people in need from the time we were here in '83, and I wanted our two boys and our daughter to really have the experience of knowing what it was like when people need help. And so I did that by taking them there for the Christmas clearinghouse. And we would pack and so forth, and then of course People in Need grew. I did work for People in Need from about 1994 to 97. I was their volunteer coordinator. The Delaware County Foundation was one of Dave's favorite, I have to say that. Just seeing that a group of people came together because they had same interest, and their interest is to be able to help the community in whatever they need. So he saw the Delaware County Foundation, and I do too, as a big community benefit for everyone. When you have a group of people coming together and having the pulse of the community, the county, I think, is very important. And I think that the Delaware County Foundation does exactly that, because all of the board members know in different areas what the needs are. To us, it's kind of like a place where people can go. We're all brothers and sisters, and if you have a need, you can come to us and tell us what the need is, and we'll see what we can do. And most of the time, they really come through. It's just a very important part of what Delaware County is about. We love Delaware. Our kids love Delaware. For one thing, it's home, and that's what it's all about. Having neighbors, having family, and just knowing that they're there for you if you need them.
Indeed, a life well lived. You know, the pandemic continues to touch each and every one of us each day, and these local heroes lift the spirits of many.
just a free store based on anyone who needs it. It's just come in and shop and have fun. Basically, that's our thing. Come and have fun.
We welcome everyone. It doesn't matter where you live, how much you do or don't have. At first it was, I think people needed clothes. Then when COVID started, the need was unbelievable, actually. When you have 5 or 6 kids at home and both parents lose their jobs, how are they feeding their kids? How are they paying for school clothes and school supplies and anything else they could possibly need? We served anywhere from 25 to 35 families, which equaled about 90 children, and that was every week with the food program that we had at the Buckeye Valley Food Pantry.
We are our brothers and sisters keepers. This is what we were brought here for. This is the whole purpose of our whole entire lives, is to make sure that everyone in our community is lifted up, not just ourselves. And that's why we pass the blessings, 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 keep them going. And then before you know it, the whole community is going to be feeling better. And it's going to be a much lighter and happier place to live. And this is why it's such an important for every community to bind together and start lifting each other up, because this is how we're supposed to live.
You know, our county is fortunate to have many community-minded businesses, and one of the best and this year's awardee for outstanding business is Opa Grill and Tavern with owner Genti Kosi.
I think I got involved with Delaware County Foundation 2-3 years ago, 4 years ago, I can't remember. When you have fun, time passes super fast. Delaware is a nice place to live. People are very friendly. It's a very safe town, very friendly town. Everybody is polite. Everybody helps each other. I'm one of the businesses that support and raise funds for the 4th of July parade. We have done it for 3-4 years now. 4th of July parade is one of my most fun activities that I support around this town. I really enjoy it because 4th of July is also my birthday, and sometimes I'll joke with people and tell them that that's why I moved to this country, because that's why I moved to Delaware, because they throw a nice 4th of July parade for me. They also throw a nice fireworks for me. During the COVID, there were a few ladies that started the Facebook group that was about adopting a senior at Hayes. We adopted a few in there, and we arranged gift cards for them. We arranged fun activities for them. It was a fun activity that everybody came together in town that we all did for the kids, because the graduation got interrupted, and this was the first time and probably the last time that somebody's graduation got interrupted, and those kids were very upset. But I think that was a good idea, so those ladies did great, and we just were supporting of that. Like 3-4 days after the governor let us open, the South Block mainly got super duper wet. We had about 2-3 feet of water on some of our businesses, and some other ones, all their basements got flooded. So we all came together, and there was a lot of other good people that came together creating fundraisers. A lot of churches came together, bringing a lot of people to help with the mopping and with water. A lot of people donated supplies. There was a lot of individuals that came in that we probably don't even know them by name, donating their humidifiers or donating any other equipment that we might have need. So we probably had, 1,000, 2,000 people walking down the streets trying to offer help to everybody. It was very nice to see the city, the community come all together and helping each other. It's a really nice community. It's a very tight community. We love what we're doing here. All the business owners in here are very nice. We all are hands-on. We all support different teams. We all support different causes. So it's a good place to live. I strongly suggest that this is a good place to live.
It is all about giving back, and now we want to remember 2020 as a time of triumph, when the best of us stepped up to do wonderful things. Here is a local hero who did.
As soon as March 15th hit, we began to mobilize everything to be a drive-through touchless food pantry. So every Monday evening, we have volunteers that show up at 4 in the afternoon and are packing groceries, preparing fresh produce, are getting things organized, and then from 6 to 8 o'clock, we're distributing food Typically, we're distributing to about 75 families on average. We've distributed since March 15, 33 tons of food, which equates to about 150,000 meals for area families and residents. What we began to see immediately is that first wave of people who were laid off from their jobs, that were furloughed in some way, shape, or form, service providers, hourly laborers, construction folks, who just lost work immediately. And since then, we've seen a steady stream of people who have had a different sort of financial impact, from small business owners who have been utilizing a food pantry so that they can stretch their dollars in order to pay their employees. And more we're seeing folks who are white-collar employees who are experiencing the financial impact of layoffs and furloughs. And so we've just seen quite a significant increase of people who are coming through the pantry for first-time needs. Our experience is that generosity produces generosity. And so our church has been able to be generous because of the generosity of others. And it's a cycle that continues. As we tell stories of the impact of generosity, people are moved to become more generous. This wasn't going to be a classic, for lack of a better word, soup kitchen where something just gets slopped on a tray and you get pushed through and it's a dehumanizing, inhumane experience. This is, I want to know your name and I do want to know your story and I want to know what brought you here, and we've created a space that was intended for you. You haven't been forgotten. Your circumstances haven't been ignored. Your need isn't going to go unaddressed. We are here for you.
Our next awardee is Sue Mahler, who is being honored as our outstanding volunteer.
What we did is we decided to start a group called Women Giving Together, where we thought if we could pool our money with other like-minded women, we could have a much larger impact in Delaware County to help those nonprofits that are helping others. So we started this group with about 8 of us 10 years ago. We're now up to 35 and growing and hoping to continue to grow, because as we grow, we can do more good in Delaware County. My favorite thing about Women Giving Together is getting grant applications from nonprofits who help those who are in need. And what happens is we get together and we look at those grant applications. We actually do site visits. And that to me is my favorite part of the process, because we're learning about what others are doing to help others. You realize what others are doing out there to make life better for people in our community. I really enjoyed being a board member of Delaware County Foundation for 9 years. My favorite part of that was doing the grant committee. Found out so much about what nonprofits are doing in our community to help others. I also enjoyed the camaraderie of the board and all the great work that's being done to improve Delaware County and help others. Women Giving Together has really created a very special place in my heart. I feel we have done so much to open our own eyes about what the needs are, and then also support those organizations that are helping others. In fact, to date, in these past 10 years, we've given over $250,000 to various nonprofits in the area. And we welcome anyone else who would be interested in joining us, because the more women who are involved in Women Giving Together, the more good we can do in Delaware County. My partner, Mark Ionata, and I started a fund here at Delaware County Foundation. Our interest in doing that is to support the Delaware County Foundation in the needs that they find with others. One of the most important things that Delaware County Foundation does is bringing those people who want to give and match them and connect them with people who have needs. So it's wonderful to be able to support Delaware County Foundation in that effort so that they can provide to nonprofits the funds that are needed so that they can accomplish their goals. Delaware County means so much to me, primarily because it's where I've been for the last 20 plus years. I just want to be able to do what I can to give back and to meet those needs that are so important to everyone. So I would encourage anyone who is listening to think about doing the same, because you might have the capacity, whether it's a way to give funds toward a nonprofit or to actually do some volunteering yourself. And the best place to start with that is to go to Delaware County Foundation, and they can steer you in the direction of what might interest you and where you could have a real impact.
Yet another heartening story of giving from the heart. We are fortunate to live in Delaware County with so many generous people. And next, another hero who ensures that students don't go hungry.
With the school feeding program we started on March 16th, we brought in people to help us pack bags so every child could have a breakfast and a lunch. We were doing it 5 days a week. We then realized with the delivery, and there was some people who couldn't make it every day, so we started doing 2 days at a time. I had cooks that agreed to come in, bus drivers who agreed to come in. We delivered to outlying areas that people could not walk to. We went to all the elementary schools in the beginning. We then went to just 3 locations, which was Willis, Conger, and Woodward. We served about 400 meals a day in the summer. We were serving almost 1,000 meals when school first got out because people weren't prepared to not be able to feed their kids breakfast and lunch. With Project Pork, it was delivered to the Willis kitchen, which we were out of the Hayes kitchen. Delaware County Foundation supplied the pork, and we dispersed to families on Fridays meals so they would have a family meal on the weekends. I think it is important to lift people up because through the world there's so many negative things that go on, and you see people who need that lifting, and I think it's very important to be positive. I see that people in Delaware County are willing to step up and help out whenever it's needed through anything.
How impressive is that, right? Well, our last awardee is the Outstanding Youth Group, the Buckeye Valley High School Key Club.
I joined Key Club to get more volunteer opportunities because the clubs that I was in, we weren't doing as much community-based work as I would have liked to. So I heard about Key Club and all of the volunteer opportunities that were available there.
I joined Key Club because I wanted to form a stronger relationship between our school and the community.
I love community-based work, and I feel that Key Club has allowed students here at BV to really connect with our outside community and make a positive impact.
I just love that feeling after you volunteer when you just make somebody's day and you see them smile, and it's just a great feeling.
Our main specific project was going to Willowbrook once a month, and we would plan these themed parties, whether it was Valentine's Day or Christmas parties, and we would set up little games that we could play with the people at Willowbrook, and we were able to really connect with the people there and form relationships.
This year we collected materials to put together, I believe it was 2 Salvation Army boxes.
We did a food drive when the pandemic first started and stuff started getting shut down. A pop-up pantry appeared in Ostrander, and they were in need of some supplies. So we came together with our community in Ostrander and collected spaghetti and some other food, canned goods, and donated to that pop-up pantry.
A specific project that we did last year was we wrote pen pal letters to the elderly at Sarah Moore. They couldn't see their families and they couldn't really have any contact with the outside world. So that little letter that we wrote to them really helped them have some normalcy in their life.
I think it is an amazing experience. It has brought me closer with students at BV that I wasn't close with before. And it's led me to meet people in my community that I didn't even know were there, and it's just been an amazing experience overall.
It's a good way to meet new people, more volunteer opportunities, and it's just a good way to get new experiences and change your perspective a little bit.
It's a really amazing opportunity. You get to meet a lot of new people and you get to get involved into the community, and that satisfaction of having helped someone is really awesome.
With youth like that, our future sure looks hopeful, doesn't it? Now, before we recognize our final hero, let's blow up that Facebook event feed with congratulations for all our awardees, our heroes in crisis, and our community for the opportunity to honor those who have made our lives a little bit brighter. Our final hero this evening brightens the day for those critically ill.
Pink Ribbon Girls were taking the patients to and from their appointments. They were taking meals to their family. They were cleaning their houses, and they were doing things that I've never seen one particular organization do for one specific cause. And they said what they were in need of first were vans, and that's where we first stepped up and were able to help out. So we did 3 vans, but what they do with those vans is they take the patients to and from their treatments. The circumstances are so challenging they can't get there themselves, so they use those vans to get them to and from so that they don't miss their appointments. The other really cool thing was the relationships that were built from the drivers of those vans with the patient themselves. So they were able to uplift the ladies who are fighting for their lives. I think it's fantastic. I don't know how you could not support that. I do believe that if more people were aware of Pink Ribbon Girls, 90% of the people or the population in this world would get behind it. So maybe that's our answer, is not only to help them, get behind them, but get the word out of what they're doing.
Thank you once again for joining us this evening. And if you want to rewatch this virtual event, head on over to the Delaware County Foundation Facebook page. In the meantime, stay safe, everyone. Stay healthy. Make sure you look out for one another.